This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirates so brave on the seven seas. Yeah, onto the review, okay? Onto the review. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. As you guys know, there are no new releases on the horizon due to the current pandemic, and I promised you guys that I would cover some films and TV shows on this channel that I haven't covered and desperately wanted to for years. And now I'm gonna kick this off by talking about one of the most influential adventure films of the last, 20 years. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. We all know that this thing is now a larger-than-life franchise, but it all started with this film. And I remember very vividly seeing this film for the very first time. It blew me away. Seriously, this made me a fan of pirate movies because I had never seen old-school pirate movies like those black and white films. No, not as a kid. And this movie absolutely drew me in. I loved the world, I loved the mythology, I loved the characters, but let me take a step back. What is this movie all about? Well, this movie is basically a fairy tale and it's based on a Disney theme park ride. So even back then, most people were cautious. They were like, yeah, this movie is going to suck. It's going to be a cash grab. No, it wasn't. It was actually amazing. It's a fairy tale. It tells the story of a young man named Will Turner with a dark past. When the love of his life, the governor's daughter, Elizabeth Swan, is captured by pirates, Will has to team up with another pirate called Jack Sparrow in order to retrieve her. And now, as I said before, we have an amazing pirate adventure. There is so much to love about this film, and I'm not here to gush about this film. I mean, I'm going to, but this is not the reason I made this video. I just recently rewatched this film because I wanted to see if it still holds up, because sometimes you watch films and you love them, and then time goes on, you pop them in again and you realize, whoa, these films haven't aged that well. This movie has aged perfectly. First of all, let's talk about the direction, the style, the storytelling, and the characters. Basically, this is everything I want from an adventure. The scenery, the shots, the cinematography, everything is just perfect. And we have some of the most beautiful locations ever in an adventure flick. I'm telling you, the Caribbean islands, oh my God, are they captivating. The plot is typical fairy tale, but it takes it to another level because Gore Verbinski also tends to go pretty dark with his films. And I think he managed to balance darkness and humor perfectly in this pirate adventure. Let's talk about our characters. First up, Orlando Bloom as our lead character. He's our typical naive main character. He kind of reminds me of Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. Not the most interesting, not the most engaging character, but he gets the job done. Yeah, this movie has a lot of parallels to the original Star Wars trilogy, but I'll get to that as I talk about the sequels as well. Then we got Elizabeth Swan, played by Keira Knightley. She is awesome in this film. She's not our typical damsel in distress, even though she was captured, even though she was kidnapped. She also is part of the action. She's beautiful, very feminine, and at the same time, she kicks ass and she's clever. I love her in this film. And I hate the fact that we don't get to see Keira Knightley in movies anymore. I mean, what happened? What happened? And we gotta talk about the villain. Geoffrey Rush as Barbossa is the perfect pirate ever. This guy nails the role as a villainous pirate captain. And the funny thing is he could come off as a caricature, and he doesn't, because Geoffrey Rush portrays him so honestly and he is so committed to the material. And I think the writing for Barbossa is surprisingly strong because he's not a villain for the sake of being a villain. Yeah, he's a criminal asshole, as most pirates are, but he has a clear motive. He and his crew are all cursed. They are basically the Walking Dead if the zombies had a brain. They show their true selves when the moonlight hits them, because they're basically walking skeletons, and he wants to feel something again. He and his crew, they're all longing for a normal life. So right there, you kind of empathize with the guy. He's not a mustache-twirling villain who wants to conquer the world. He just wants to be free of this curse. And Geoffrey Rush portrays him perfectly. But now, let's get to the crown jewel of this film, Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. This is one of the coolest characters in recent film history. I'm telling you, the way they introduce the guy is perfect. We see him on top of a ship. We think it's a ship. It's just a tiny little boat. And it looks badass. We think this is the most badass pirate we've ever seen. But then the camera zooms out and we see that this boat is actually sinking. And he barely makes it through. This tells us everything we need to know about this character. He's a survivor. He always utilizes all of his resources. He is smart. And he is kind of a drunk and a little bit quirky. Johnny Depp became this character, and there's a reason why there are so many sequels out there, but no other movie nailed the character of Jack Sparrow like the first one did, because everything about this character is amazing. His dialogue is fun, he's a dirty fighter, and by the way, the fighting sequences, the sword fights and the battles among ships are all well choreographed, well shot and well executed. Like, I was taken aback at how well this movie looks, at how well the action is actually put into frame. And interestingly enough, Jack Sparrow is a supporting character in this film, but he's one of those supporting characters that completely steals the show, because he has his own agenda. He just wants to have his ship back. We really focus on Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, and the crew of the Black Pearl. He is basically part of every scene and every sequence, but he is not the point. And I think this is what this movie does so well, because especially in Pirates of the Caribbean Part 5, him in the forefront doesn't work as well. To have him point fingers at all the other characters, making fun of the situation or trying to utilize a certain situation in order to benefit from it, is what makes the character so much fun. And that's another thing that some of the sequels fail to do. Jack Sparrow comes off as an idiot to a lot of people around him, but that's actually the brilliance of the character. He's not an idiot, he's super smart. His intellect and his and the fact that he is super witty is why he always comes out on top. All of his enemies just underestimate him. He's a dirty fighter. He's not a clean fighter. He's not our typical shiny hero. He's not. He's a dirty pirate, but he's fucking awesome at it. Once again, Johnny Depp could have been up for an Oscar nomination, in my humble opinion, because this is the role of a lifetime. The only other time that I can think of a Disney supporting character that stole the show completely was Robin Williams as the genie in Disney's Aladdin. I mean, we all know that he was clearly the best part of the film. But I do not mean to disrespect all the other characters, because I already mentioned they're all fun. And even the side characters like Mr. Gibbs or some of the pirates are all awesome, all fun. The dialogue bounces off of these characters perfectly. What else is there to say? I expected this movie to have aged badly, but even the CG looks surprisingly great. It still holds up. I was surprised. Set pieces are great, action is great, acting is great, the characters are fun. What else is there to say other than to rate this thing? Because Pirates of the Caribbean and The Curse of the Black Pearl gets the gold medal. I'm trying to marathon through the rest of those films and maybe review all of them on my channel. I will never ever promise something like this again, because very often I tend to be lazy and I want to keep my word from now on. But I'm trying my best. This is the best I can give you. I will try. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Are you a fan of this movie? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then just subscribe. This is the tale of...